taste the sweet nectar of the end zone for the second time in this game.
Hey, that's dope.
Good evening, Chiefs Kingdom. Welcome to the site of Montana Magic. Patrick Mahomes' first career start and Patrick Mahomes' first career primetime game. All three of those games were memorable, and all three of those games were wins. As we come to you from Mile High Stadium here in Denver, Colorado, we welcome you to Field Pass, where we are going to break down everything that you guys need to know about the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm Chiefs reporter BJ Kissel, joined by 10-year NFL veteran linebacker Shawn Barber, and not just joined by Shawn Barber, joined by a lot of Chiefs fans in the area. We've seen it so far this season. On the road, Chiefs Kingdom has been well represented. They are well represented again here tonight. We have got a great show for you to break everything you guys want to know down about this game. We are going to get into it. We're going to meet with NFL Network's James Palmer is going to join us. We got an exclusive interview with McCole Hardman. We're going to send it up to Voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, and we're going to give you everything you guys want to know going into this one, because, Shawn, this is an opportunity for the Chiefs to get back after it. This is a game of trends. That's going to be the theme throughout this Field Pass show. The Chiefs looking for their 8th straight win over the Broncos, which would be a franchise record. Chiefs start 4-0. And they lose 2 straight. The Broncos start 0-4. They win 2 straight. These are two teams seemingly over the last couple weeks going in opposite directions. Shawn, what do the Chiefs need to do to get back on track?
Well, it comes down to fundamentals. You got to get back to the fundamentals. Alignment, assignment, fundamentally sound football in all 3 phases.
Yeah, a lot of credit this week needs to go to the Chiefs' Vice President of Sports Medicine and Performance, Rick Burkholder, along with the strength and conditioning staff, Barry Rubin. A lot of the guys you don't necessarily hear from or see all the time, but on a short week on Thursday Night Football, those guys, to get the players' bodies right, to come on the road into elevation when they're banged up, and especially that defense, the number of snaps they've been playing over the last few weeks, that's definitely a storyline coming into this one, and Rick and Barry and all those guys deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, Rick does an amazing job. I had a chance to work with him 2 different years when I was in Philadelphia. He kept me ready to go. Even though I was bumped and bruised up, he somehow got me ready to be on the field.
All right, we appreciate everybody watching, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the Chiefs app, Chiefs.com, wherever it is. Vote in the polls. Keep the conversation going in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about tonight's Thursday night matchup against the Denver Broncos. But, Shawn, before we get into the what to watch right now, let's go into the inactives and the key players in this game that will not play for either team. And for the Chiefs, not a lot of surprises, and that Kendall Fuller, Eric Fisher, Chris Jones, Andrew Wiley, and Sammy Watkins are the 5 guys that it was announced earlier in the week that those guys would not play. So that is not a surprise. But for the Denver Broncos, one of the guys that was questionable coming into this game was their starting right tackle, Jawan James. He is inactive tonight and will not play, which is huge. For the Chiefs, Elijah Wilkinson will step in at right tackle for the Broncos tonight, and the other guy, Bryce Callahan, their nickelback, will not play. He was one of their key free agents this offseason, played with the Chicago Bears, but he will not play tonight. One guy that will play, though, Bashad Breeland. I know he was questionable coming in the week, a non-injury, a family-related thing. He is here tonight and will play for the Chiefs, so that is great news as they try to get back on track. But, Shawn, let's go into the what to watch right now for this Thursday night matchup against the Denver Broncos. And we're going to start with the Chiefs' run defense, because that's been the storyline for everybody nationally, locally. All eyes on the run defense for the Chiefs. And they've got their hands full with Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman tonight for the Broncos.
Yeah, Phillip Lindsay is right now clicking off at a 4.7 yards per carry, and then you got Freeman at 4.3. So when you have a double-headed backfield, both averaging over 4 yards a carry, and then both actually averaging 6 and 7 per yards reception too. So they're being heavily used, and our run defense has to be able to stand the test of time. I expect our guys to create a brick wall, linebackers and D-line being on the same level, so there's no places to go. As we know with Phillip Lindsay, he's a smaller guy, and he only needs a crevice to get through. And once he's to your second level, he's been able to elevate and escalate and really break some long runs so far this season.
Yeah, in 2 games last year, Phillip Lindsay had over 5 yards a carry in both of those games. We know it's been widely publicized. Over the last 4 games, the Chiefs defense has allowed 190 yards per game on average on the ground. And even look at the advanced analytics after that. And the Chiefs defensive players all week have talked about leaky yards.
Yes.
About you're in the right position, you're in the right gap, you're getting blocked, but you get one arm on him and you can't bring him down, and your buddies aren't there to help bring him down. That's the reason that the Chiefs defense ranks last in the NFL at allowing yards after first contact, which is never a stat that a defensive player wants to see. But as a defensive player, before we move on to the next one, what's your mindset got to be coming into this game? Because it's been talked about so much. Frank Clark talked about needing to get the physicality back. How do you just flip that switch as a defensive player?
Man, it's like whatever it takes mentality. You define whatever in your life it takes to make sure that you stop that run today. 7 in the box, 8 in the box, even 9 in the box. If you got to go cover 0 multiple times in a row, you cannot let a team keep handing the ball off and getting positive yardage. At some point, you got to start run blitzing, cover 0 blitzing, do whatever you have to do to make it to take away that run from them.
Yeah, the guy to watch for me tonight is number 32 for the Chiefs defense, Tyrann Mathieu. He's kind of that wild card, that X factor that maybe he comes down in the box and helps against the run, puts a little more pressure on those guys on the outside, and force Joe Flacco to deliver the ball down the field, to make plays, to move the ball, as opposed to just letting him run for 4 and 5 yards every single time they hand it off. And like you just mentioned, you don't want Phillip Lindsay to get past that first line of defense. But Shawn, let's move over to the other side of the ball right now and talk about the Chiefs passing game. A lot's been made about Patrick Mahomes, that his ankle's a little bit sore. You look over the last 3 games, he's just completing 56% of his passes. They want to get back on track in the passing game as well.
What you know about quarterbacks, when they get something in their system that's not right, you can't plant on your back foot, you can't push off your front foot. It makes the ball sail a little high. And the times he has missed, it's been the ball sailing. So just going back to his fundamentals as a quarterback, knowing how to drive that front arm, eyeing his target, keeping his eyes downfield, and not being able to be affected by the pressure, just feeling where it is and being able to move in the pocket and deliver the ball.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. And I think when we talk about trends and we go into this game, I know there's a lot of fans, a lot have been talking about get the running game going, and that could absolutely help them out. But at the end of the day, the bread and butter of this offense is passing the ball, delivering it down the field. And part of the ability to do that comes with protection. We talk about trends. These are 2 teams going in the opposite directions when it comes to protection as well. And that you look at the Chiefs' first 3 games of the season, Patrick Mahomes was pressured 19 times. The last 3 games, Patrick Mahomes has been pressured 43 times, more than twice as many pressures over the last couple of weeks. And then on the flip side, you look at the Denver Broncos, first 3 games of the season, 0 sacks. Their last 3 games, 12 sacks, including 7 last week. These guys are getting after it up front. That group up front, whether it's Cam Irving, whether it's Martinez Rankin, who's going to start at left guard again tonight for the Chiefs, those guys need to give Patrick Mahomes a time to deliver the ball down the field. So whether it's keeping 7 in and just going to a 3-man route concept, whatever you want to do, give him time to deliver the ball down the field.
Yeah, when they have a guy like Von Miller coming after you, you know right now he's at 2.5 sacks going in with the first 6 games of the season. That's an all-time low for him. So it's just a matter of time before he explodes, but just not tonight. So Von Miller, be ready to get after it another night. Tonight ain't the night where he changes things.
And we know this Denver Broncos team is excited to play tonight. And one of the guys over the last few years that has been very good against the Broncos, we can say everything we want about Tyreek Hill, but Travis Kelce has been a thorn in the side of the Denver Broncos. Last 5 games, Travis Kelce has averaged 8 receptions, 110 yards, and a score. So we talk about that press defense. The first game we ever saw Patrick Mahomes struggle in his career was against this Denver Broncos team. And who did he go to in clutch situations? At a lot of those moments, it was Travis Kelce. When you're struggling, you need your stars to step up. That's what I want to see tonight. I want to see Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes make big plays, get the Chiefs back on the winning track, and get that losing taste out of their mouth. So for right now, we're going to send it up to the radio booth to voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus and Kendall Gammon, because they're going to talk about this philosophy that the NFL doesn't wait for anyone.
How do you respond, BJ, after 96 hours losing back-to-back home games in successive weeks? The NFL does not wait. It's very unforgiving. And, Kendall, you just have to figure this out. But this Chiefs team is hyper-focused to try to fix things as much as they can on such short notice.
Yeah, they really are. And this is a week when you talk about the short notice, you don't watch the last game, and to a degree maybe you don't want to, but you just don't have time. And when it comes down to it, you know you're going to Denver. It's a division game. You're on a 2-game skid, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to wait. I mean, right now Denver, they're wanting to come and squash the bug a little bit. So you've got to bow up and you've got to get things going.
Yeah, Denver's sick of losing 7 straight to the Chiefs, plus they're confident they've won the last 2 after an 0-4 start. Everybody's talking about the Chiefs' run defense, and of course, until you stop folks, they're going to continue to talk about it. But I think tonight, and again, the Chiefs are 5 starters down tonight when you hear the inactives. Rashad Breeland was listed as questionable, although I fully expect he'll be able to play tonight. That being said, in stopping the run, it seems like Maybe you got to think outside the box here a little bit if you're Spags, and sometimes you just have to win your battles when you're playing defense.
Yeah, mano a mano, and you've just got to bow up. And, the big thing in the NFL, and it's hard sometimes for people to realize, is you don't play well one week, and that pride thing sets in. You got beat that last week. You don't like seeing it on film. And really, again, I expect to see several different fronts and really some stuff that Denver hasn't seen as of yet, because at this point in time, you got to try something, because Frank Clark said it the best, which is until we stop it, they're going to continue to do it. And why wouldn't they?
Yeah, and Denver's top 4 anyway, no matter who they play, in deciding to run in the first halves of games. Now let's flip it to the other side, and that is protecting Patrick Mahomes. It's the combination of protection and attack. Sometimes you do the math here. You may have to keep 7 in to block because Mahomes will still find 3 eligible receivers. But this is a Denver team you can't ignore that had 7 sacks and 3 picks last week in their shutout win over the Titans.
Well, and not only that, they've had 6 turnovers in the last 2 games, 5 picks. So they're doing some good things, but ultimately you've got to shore it up. And like you said, you've either got to have the running back stay in and chip, or you have the tight end help as well.
That being said, I think the Chiefs running backs tonight could be a factor, not just in the run game, which has to be better, obviously, but they are a weapon in the passing game, and not necessarily deep, but in that second level, I just have a sense the Chiefs running backs could make a difference.
Yeah, the second level, then also in the flat as well. Ekelor a couple weeks ago with the Chargers really burned him, had 15 catches, so that could go as well.
All right, BJ, here we go. The NFL does not wait. It's the Chiefs and Broncos, and now with you and James Palmer.
Good stuff, Mitch. Right now we are joined by NFL Network's James Palmer. James, you and I have talked quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You live here in Denver. You spend a lot of time with the Broncos players. What kind of sense do you get from them based on the games that we've seen from the Chiefs and Broncos here in Denver of what this game means to them?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, this game is massive to them. A couple of guys, Will Parks told me this week, their safety, he goes, I've been thinking about this game since last year. I've had it circled since last year. Chris Harris Jr., in the locker room after the win against the Titans, was like, no, I'm done with this. I am on to the Chiefs, and I don't have to prepare. I was ready this offseason for the Chiefs. They've played them so tough, specifically here, and they always give the Chiefs fits, but they've always found ways to kind of hurt themselves, and I think they know that, and that's why they're so hungry to beat a team that got as far as they did, like the Chiefs last year, and play as well as the Chiefs have been playing. I think this is a huge measuring stick for these players, as long as they don't want to say that. But it is. They don't want to admit it to everybody, but it is.
All week long, all I've heard is about this run game, this ground and pound. If the Chiefs can't stop the run, But what about Courtland Sutton? He's been having a great start to his season. Quietly a top 10 receiver in the NFL. What about his impact on the game?
He is. He's 9th in the NFL in receiving, and Joe Flacco legitimately considers him a number 1.
Yeah.
He legitimately does. He trusts him. If you watch all their games, he repeatedly goes to him on 3rd down, on 4th down. Key situations, he finds and looks for Courtland Sutton. Keep an eye on him because he used to be just kind of that jump ball guy.
Yeah.
He's finding ways to create some separation. We know Joe Flacco might be a veteran, but he can still throw it a mile, and he's thrown it as a Raven in the playoffs over the Broncos, and these fans haven't really forgotten that either.
Hey, so far in this show, the theme has been trends. Can the Chiefs buck some trends? Can the Broncos buck some trends? And I want to put you on the spot. Say, is there a better chance that the Chiefs defense, the run defense, can at least slow down Phillip Lindsay in this running game? And can the Chiefs protect Patrick Mahomes? Because the Broncos defense has been getting after it lately, and the Chiefs have struggled protecting Patrick Mahomes. Which of those things is going to give, in your opinion?
I think they're going to be able to stop the run because Phillip Lindsay, as good as he is and as shifty as he is, he's not a bruiser. And when I talked to guys in the Texans locker room, they felt like they wore down this Chiefs defense. I don't see Phillip Lindsay being the type of guy that wears down a defense. Maybe he is shifty as he is and the way he breaks tackles, but at the same time, I do think it's going to be harder to stop Von Miller and company than it is to try to change things in your running game.
We've talked about it all week. The Chiefs have 3 defensive tackles who are up tonight: Colin Saunders, Derek Nottie, and Terrell McClain, who's only been with the team for a couple of weeks. In this altitude, with as many snaps as those guys have been playing on a short week, that is the storyline for this one. But as much as we talked about Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and those guys making plays, we're going to throw it to Matt McMullen right now, who earlier this week caught up with Chiefs rookie receiver McCole Hardman.
Thanks, BJ. Well, McCole, this Broncos defense hasn't allowed a passing touchdown in 2 weeks. When you're looking at the film and breaking them down, just what stands out about this Broncos secondary?
First of all, they got Chris Harris. I think he one of the top corners, top nickels in the game. So I think he got a lot to do with it. I think teams shy away from him. But I think they do a good job in secondary of getting to the ball. I think they break to the ball well. And so you just got to, when we out there, we just got to make sure we coming back to the ball, releases at the line, and just trying to get open. But they do a good job of getting to the ball and taking away things that we might want and stuff like that. So they do a good job of that. So.
Mentioned Chris Harris. When you're looking at him and breaking him down, so what's he do so well? He's been doing this a long time and succeeding for a long time. So what stands out about him?
Oh, he a vet, man. So I think he a film junkie. I think he like watch film a lot, and I think he try to take away what you're good at. You know, I think he's not scared of nobody, no scared of no competition. I think he's a very competitive guy, which makes him who he is, and ton of respect for him. And you know, it's gonna be exciting to go against him.
You get Tyreek Hill back last week. Just as a fellow receiver, how much does it help to have a guy of his ability out there on the field with you?
Oh, it's a game changer. You know, what he can do on the field, you know, it give defense a lot more to worry about, you know. And so, you know, I think he can open up more things for a lot of people on the field. And I'm happy to have him back, man. Ready for him to go ball.
6 games in now to your career. How have you grown so far as a professional? 6 games in for the Chiefs.
Every game I drove, man. Every game I learned something different. Whether it be like a coverage or, you know, a play or like a release or like things I can do better to help Pat out, you know, on my route. So I think I'm learning every day, even in practice, man. I'm just trying to get better every day and just play my role and do what I can to help the team. So.
Nicole, appreciate your time. Good luck on Thursday. BJ, back to you.
Good stuff from Matt there with McCole, and so much, like we said with James, so much has been made of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce's recent experience against the Broncos and how well he's done that maybe it's McCole who gets loose tonight.
Hey, McCole can take the place of somebody who we've not known to do special things on this field. 182 X Factor. Maybe McCole Hartman can be the new X Factor with a big punt team, a big punt return tonight.
Hey, right now we are going to make a little hard pivot and take a look around the league right now because there's some other games coming up this weekend and a lot of news around the NFL has been making headlines. And the first one, Jalen Ramsey being traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Los Angeles Rams as they travel to take on Julio Jones and the Atlanta Falcons. What do you like about that particular matchup?
Hey, man, that's going to be a battle of the Titans, right? Jalen Ramsey against Julio. He'll shut him down, but I think Atlanta has way too many weapons for the Jaguar sack nation nowadays. So I think this is the time for the Atlanta Falcons to get off their downward trend of losing and get back on the winning trail.
Yeah, there's a lot of eyes on the Atlanta Falcons right now. Julio Jones, Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey never faced Julio Jones, which I think is a little bit surprising, but that's a good one. And while the New Orleans Saints, the Chicago Bears is going to be a good one, the other one I want to talk about right now is the Baltimore Ravens traveling and taking on the Seattle Seahawks because we just talked about Jalen Ramsey. Part of the reason he went there is because the Rams created some space by sending Marcus Peters to the Baltimore Ravens, and now Marcus goes up to Seattle, not too far from where he played in college at the University of Washington. And now he's got to go up and face a Russell Wilson, who's playing as well as anybody in the NFL at the quarterback position.
Well, Marcus Peters, his one detriment has always been his concentration, right? The lack of focus of being able to be there every down with the right leverage. So watch for Tyler Lockett for the Seahawks to get loose tonight against the Ravens and one Marcus Peters.
All right, now let's take a quick look around the AFC West and what else is going on in the division. Obviously got the Chiefs and the Broncos here tonight. We've got the 3-2 Raiders at the 5-1 Green Bay Packers. And you look at the Packers injury report, looks very similar to the Chiefs in that they're starting 3 wide receivers are all out. What are you seeing from this matchup?
Well, I think what, the Packers do like nobody else is spread the field. They're going to go vertical game. They have Aaron Rodgers, AR-12. They can get the ball to anybody. So that team has been having a strong defensive impact on the season so far. So look at the Raiders to take an L, go down at Green Bay.
We've grudgingly on this show given the Raiders a little bit of respect for everything that they've gone through all offseason. They traded Khalil Mack, the whole Antonio Brown saga, all the stuff that they had going on with Hard Knocks and all of it, and they were still 3-2, and they're going to have to prove it, and they've got a huge test going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. The other one, the 2-4 Los Angeles Chargers taking on the 2-4 Tennessee Titans. What do you like about that one?
The Titans don't have anything going on. They benched Mariota. They got Tannehill. They still got a Henry game. They got a running game that can get them going. I think the Chargers right now are going to start feeling it. Hunter Henry is back. Melvin Gordon is back. Williams is starting to feel it. So I think Rivers got his weapons. If they get to going, I think Chargers might win that one.
All right, Shawn, now I know you're going to get that little twinkle in your eye. You're so excited about this segment. Now it's time for Shawn's Sleepers. If you've been watching the show and you've got fantasy football questions, it's Thursday night. You've got a few days to make some decisions. This guy's going to help you make a couple of those decisions. We've got quarterback Kyler Murray going to the New York Giants. Kyler Murray's been turning it on, top 10 quarterback fantasy-wise so far this season. What do you like about him him against the Giants?
Hey, last week, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons. Now he goes against a porous Giants defense. Look for him to light it up on the scoreboard and on your fantasy team.
Jamal Williams, Green Bay Packers running back, taking on the Oakland Raiders. What do you like about Jamal?
I like the way Jamal finished the last game against the Detroit Lions. He's shown to be the running back that the Packers have the most confidence in, especially when it gets down to nut crunching time. So look for Jamal Williams to have the better stats between him and
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones was talking a lot. He wanted to step up last week. He dropped a couple of passes.
That's right.
And there was Jamal Williams who stepped up and made plays. And finally, Auden Tate, the receiver for the Bengals, big-bodied guy, taking on the Jalen Ramsey-less Jacksonville Jaguars defense that's given up over 40 points per game to opposing wide receivers fantasy-wise, 8th most in the league. What do you like about that matchup?
I've been waiting to talk about Tate for 2 weeks now. He's a target monster. 18 targets last 2 games. Look for that guy out around the red zone. Hey, Red Ranger got to find him. He's going to be lighting up in Cincinnati. Start Tate in your lineups.
All right, as we wrap it up, it is time for our final thoughts for tonight's game, Chiefs and Broncos. Chiefs looking for their 8th straight win, which would be, again, a franchise record against the Broncos. 5th straight win here in Denver. And one of the storylines all week has been Patrick Mahomes, just 2-5 in primetime games. Now, you look at the offensive numbers he's put up in those games, and the stats can be the trend can be a little misleading. But final thoughts, what do you want to see tonight from the Chiefs?
Pat's a leader. He's a natural-born leader. No matter what happens in the game, he will not be shook. Look for him to lead these guys out the tunnel, first half, second half, to a victory here tonight.
Patrick Mahomes could become just the 2nd quarterback in Chiefs franchise history to get 3 wins here in Denver. And I think you've seen his performances over the last couple of years. His first career start, game-winning drive in the 4th quarter. Last year, the left-handed pass, the whole deal, game-winning drive in the 4th quarter. Here's to making that happen again tonight. And don't forget to catch Chiefs Rewind with Shawn Barber and voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, after the game. From all of us here at Mile High, we appreciate everybody for watching. We will catch you after the game, hopefully after a Chiefs victory.